All right, there we go. We are live. Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday. I know it's still a long week left. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to DuePoint. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in around South Africa over our live stream. I love it when audience members look behind me and go, who's he talking to at the back? So you are my live studio audience. We've got a lot of people tuned in around the country. That's the beauty of technology today. As I said, my name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here. I'm going to be spending about 35 minutes with you. So it's a short, sharp meeting that we get to have. It's very much a invitation. It's a business proposition, the next 35 minutes. And I'm hoping to give you enough information over the next 35 minutes that you're able to make an informed decision, one that is free of any skepticism. And so if you do have any questions, reserve those until we're finished. I'm sure you're being hosted by somebody. Somebody's been kind enough to introduce you to our business. Go speak to them. I'm sure they'll be able to answer your questions. If they can't, come speak to me. And I think Carol is on our live chat. So for those of you that are tuned in online, you are very free to ask any questions on the live chat over YouTube. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint is actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. We are a registered insurance company. We've been in business for nearly 70 years. I hope that removes a little bit of skepticism. I'm always a bit worried about these business opportunities. Can I trust these business opportunities? And so we've got a 70-year track record. I'll touch on it, Constantia, a little bit later towards the end of the presentation. But DuePoint is fairly new. We were formed in February 2016. So we, in our fourth year of business, we're about 3.5 years old. And DuePoint was formed when a number of factors came together for the founders of the business. So we had a number of aspirations. I'm going to go through these because it's going to give you a lot of context as to the relevance of DuePoint, especially today. And so number one, what we wanted to do was create a business that created social impact. We wanted a business that would impact the community, the country that we operated in positively. And so from your point of view, that is economic impact, right? Economic and risk factors. You are sitting here today, you're watching wherever you are in South Africa, for one reason only. Your interest has been piqued for one reason only. One reason. What is that one reason? Why are you here? The money, right? Exactly. And so the impact that we hope to achieve is one of economic impact. We want to empower people financially through this business. And so what we did was we created a business model around social entrepreneurship. So we created a business where community is able to get involved, where we're able to collaborate, to work together to creating a successful business in South Africa that not only benefits the founders, but also you, the stakeholders in our business. And so this opportunity of entrepreneurship has a mandate in which we have to create what we call channels of distribution. So that becomes our mandate together to create channels of distribution. And I'm going to be speaking about channels of distribution all the time, so you'll get a good understanding of what it actually is. But generally what we're asking you to do is just to go out and tell other people about our business. That's all you have to do. Go tell other people about DuePoint. You don't have to convince them of a single thing. That is my job. Hopefully I'm going to convince them. That's why this presentation, I intro it as a proposition, an invitation. But your job to help us build DuePoint in South Africa and perhaps beyond South Africa is just to go out and tell people about our business. And so if you're able to do that successfully, if you're able to go out and build your own channel of distribution, in other words, successfully connect people to DuePoint, you get to share in a host of benefits in the DuePoint system, primarily being that you get to create income for yourself, additional income. We're hoping that this will supplement your salaries. Because that's really where empowerment lies, is the ability to have two incomes. But the nature of the income is very important to discern, because I imagine that you've come to look for something extra out of necessity, unfortunately, right? It would be great if we didn't have to look for something extra. If I could go home at 5 o'clock, spend time with my family, lie back on the couch, smell dinner being cooked and not have a worry in the world because I know my salary is going to get paid every month. My job will be there next month. I'm getting a 10% increase every single year and my retirement is looking rosy. I wouldn't have to look for anything else. But that's not the reality, is it? And so I trust that you've gone out and looked at many business opportunities, I imagine. Maybe this is the first one that you get to look at, but I'm certain it won't be the last. And so it becomes very important to be able to discern, well, what makes a good business opportunity versus a poor business opportunity? This slide will summarize what I think a good business opportunity should encompass for you. Number one, in the fact that the nature of the income we produce here at DuePoint is what we call recurring income. You get to share in an inherent benefit of insurance companies to almost get a royalty of the book value that we create in this business. That is a beautiful deal. You go speak to anyone involved in entrepreneurship or investing, royalty is great. Why? Because you don't get to share in the risk. You get to take the cream off the top of the business that you're involved in without having to worry about the costs of running this business, right? And so the recurring income speaks to the fact that we very easily are able to predict what income we're pulling in next month. We don't have to go chase our income every single month. The book value that an insurance company creates is wonderful annuity income. You know, I come from a background in design. I ran an agency for about 15 years that I had founded, and boy, I got tired of chasing a number every single month. Because at the end of every single month, we started at zero again, right? And many businesses, many trades, many specialists are involved in selling time. As employees, we are constrained by time because our employment contracts are based on the fact that you have to work 8 hours a day for a month before you get paid. And there are so many things that threaten that, right? And this business mitigates a lot of those risks. And so know that you get to build and work and contribute time into a business that pays recurring income. I'm going to highlight this fact for you to make it a little more clearer for you further in the presentation. Power duplication, this is your ability to leverage in the business. We've got wonderful training coming up on Saturday where we talk about the power of leverage. You get to benefit out of creating a team around you that can help you build a channel of distribution. A good team can build a business way faster than you can on your own. On your own, you're just a salesperson, right? But here we're building business, and business requires team to work together, to collaborate together, and you get to benefit out of that because what it does is it allows you to tap into exponential growth with regards to your income, something that we are not familiar with in the working world. Who's gotten a raise more than 5% this year? No one? Right? Most of us don't. Most of us are lucky even if we got a little raise, 1%, 2%, 3%, right? We don't know what exponential growth is. We have that available for you here at DuePoint because you're allowed to benefit off of your team building a channel much faster than you can on your own. Our business is extremely easy and convenient to conduct. Why? Because we've invested so much into technology, right? We demonstrated now being able to broadcast live to the entire country. We didn't have to set up an SABC OB van outside here like they have the soccer stadiums. We've got this technology, a little camera here, we've got a thing here, we've got a thing in our server room, and suddenly we're able to broadcast globally, real time. And that is just one of the little bits of technology that we've invested in here at DuePoint. This business has become very easy to do if you lean into that technology. Right? And that becomes available for everybody. We've designed the business to have a very low barrier to entry, in other words, to have very little risk. Remember I said I started off, one of our greatest aspirations is to create social impact. We don't do that by attaching risk or a price tag to this business. If I ran through this whole business as a franchise and said, if you want to buy into this franchise, it's successful, people are making money, but you've got to put down 20,000 Rand. That doesn't make it accessible. That doesn't create social impact, right? That marginalizes people again. And so we've designed this business to have very little risk. So even if you're skeptical, you're still free to try this business because you should not feel any fear in engaging with this business because there is no risk. And at the same time, we've made it as accessible as possible. There's no qualifications or experience requirements. And then most importantly for me, you get to build an asset because I know, and this is just the way I've conducted myself from day one. Since the day I left school, I do not get involved in business, in making money, unless I have shares in that business, right? At the same time, the shares usually come with a lot of risk. But I've always conducted myself that way. I don't ever want to contribute time into building something for somebody else. Unfortunately, employment is exactly that. We build things for other people. I used to speak about this meme I saw. I thought the meme was very funny. It was a picture of a man standing next to a Lamborghini. You know a Lamborghini? What is the cheapest Lamborghini? 6-7 million rand, right? The garage was, they moved to Santon now. But we got Ferrari down the road here. And this man in the meme, he's standing against the Lamborghini, and there's another person standing off looking at the man standing against the Lamborghini. And the man says to the guy, he says, "You like my Lamborghini?" He says, "Oh, that's a wonderful car." He says, "You know what? If you work really hard next year, right, fully committed, you work hard, I can buy another Lamborghini for myself." Does that not spell out employment for us? All right? Unfortunately, we, in this economy, we contribute the majority of our lives to employment. We will work 45, 50 years working for somebody else, where we're forced to experience the downside of business. Right? You're forced to experience the downside of the business that you work for, but you never get to enjoy the upside. You don't get shares, you don't get dividends, you don't have ownership in the business once you're retired that keeps paying you out. With the poor prospect of retirement, something like 95% of South Africans can't afford retirement, right? And so my point is, when I say build an asset, the asset that you build here, your channel and distribution that you build here at DuePoint, you have legal tender over it. It is yours. You own it. You're building something you own. You can sell it. We've had numerous wealth engineers sell their channels for various reasons. It will never retrench you. You get to understand and know and appreciate that the time that you sacrifice building your channel, you're building something for yourself. It will pay you beyond retirement. It does not retire you. It's not going to buy you a cake at 65 and send you on your way with nothing to show for it afterwards. It'll pay you through your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, through your 90s, through your hundreds. When are we going to die? 110, 120? Right? Maybe with the NHI coming out, it might be 60. We never know, right? And what happens to assets when we die? What happens to an asset when you die? Does it disappear? No, it doesn't. You get to pass wealth on to the next generation. You get to pass true wealth. You get to create legacy in this lifetime. You get to make a difference that lasts not only for your lifetime, but perhaps for generations. Right? You go speak to a lot of our experienced wealth engineers that have been here for a long time. They've got children that are chomping at the bit to get involved at DuePoint. Right? That's what we want to achieve. That's when I get happy. That's where I see our aspirations being met, when we see wealth engineers' children aspiring to get involved in this business. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to foster long-term relationships here at DuePoint. And then finally, there's no selling involved at DuePoint. Absolutely no selling. If you came to this business presentation thinking, what are we going to sell? Where are the boxes? Where are the boxes? I've got to buy boxes tonight. There are no boxes. There's no selling involved in our business. You are not going out there to convince anyone to join DuePoint. That is my job. All you are doing is going out and connecting people to a business opportunity. Number one commodity in South Africa today, the number one commodity, the most attractive commodity today is opportunity. Why? Because there's so little of it. All you're going to be doing is getting someone just to come look at this 35-minute presentation. That's all you do. And I do the rest of the work. Right? And so there's no selling. At the same time, the nature of our business, the nature of our products is financial. It means we don't have boxes. There are no tangible products. We've got IT systems that take care of stock and distribution, so to speak, automatically. You never have to worry about any of that stuff. I know some of you have been involved in business with boxes, right? It's painful. It's painful. So what is a channel of distribution? Because this is really what we focused on building. This is where our success lies, the ability to create this thing called a channel of distribution. So it begins with you. You become what we call a wealth engineer here at DuePoint once you join us, and a product owner. And now you're going to go out and start connecting other people to DuePoint. And this little example, you've got 5 people that have connected themselves to DuePoint because of your efforts. And this is where the leverage lies, the power of duplication, so to speak. Because those 5 individuals have joined DuePoint for the same reason you've joined, and their mandate is the same. And they go out and start connecting other people, right? You see the power of duplication, the leverage that exists. And so this is what your channel could look like after a certain amount of time. Every single dot represents a product owner and wealth engineer here at DuePoint. This is the channel, the asset that you build. This has got the freedom to keep building. Every single month, this asset can get bigger. This is what pays out a return to you every single month. The next month after this, if you never opened your mouth and told anyone about DuePoint, you never opened your phone to look at the DuePoint app, you did absolutely nothing in September, will DuePoint pay you? Yes, we will. Why? Because our business is not activity-based business. It's not sales. It's not commission-based business. We pay you for the channel that you build at DuePoint. This asset that you've sacrificed time into building, that's what pays you. This is what true entrepreneurship is, the ability to create money out of an asset that you get to build. Right? You're not building something for someone else. You're building something for yourself. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. I mentioned that we pay our wealth engineers a return every single month. It is based on a simple calculation. We pay 27.50 Rand for every product that you have in your channel, right? In your qualified channel. And so when your channel starts building, when you start going out and introducing people, anyone you introduce personally to the business will always fall on your first point. We call it your first point, right? On your first point, you can see according to the table, we actually pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So you're earning 200% of that fee. You're making 55 Rand for every product in your qualified channel every single month. So if you had 10 people on your first point paying successfully, that's 550 Rand that you're earning every single month. That's 6,000 Rand a year extrapolated as annuity income. When those people go out and connect people to your second point, again, you see on your second point, you earn 55 Rand. If you had 100 people on your first and second point, now you're earning 5,500 Rand a month. 60,000 Rand a year, right? And then as your channel grows to the third point, fourth point, all the way out, the product gets further away from you, all the way down to the eighth point. You see that multiplier drop steadily from 200% to 4% by 0.8. But we don't limit you at 0.8. That's one of the wonderful things about our business, is that there's no limitation to the size of your channel. No limitation. Think about that. There's 54 million people in South Africa. There's no limitation to how big your channel can get, and there's no limitation to how much money we will pay you. We don't place any limitation on that, right? And so again, I hope you see that we aspire to creating long-term relationships. When I look at the business and go, okay, I'm going to start investing time into this business to build a channel, and I'm not limited. Well, now maybe you start making a long-term commitment to it, because your channel can keep growing and keep growing in this business. People still won't understand, well, how much money can I make in the short term or in the long term, and how much activity is required? When am I going to be rich? Right? Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to do at DuePoint. We're trying to have this financial impact on people's lives. We're trying to, in essence, create wealthy individuals. Well, when does that happen? We built a 5-year projection. It's a 5-year plan based on the premise of very moderate activity. This formula requires that you only connect 2 people onto your first point every single month, right? That's moderate. That's 1 person that you only have to connect every 2 weeks, right? If you can do that, well then, after 6 months of doing that with some duplication, you should be earning around 2,500 Rand a month. Now, my first impression, when I first started doing the presentation, right, and they showed me the projection, and I saw 2,500 Rand after 6 months, I had that get-rich-quick mentality. You know, I want the money. This has got to look attractive. I'm involved in advertising. 2,500 Rand is not attractive. 6 months of work for 2,500 Rand. And what I started to realize after doing the presentation in myself, is that I'm giving money the wrong value. I'm thinking like a consumer. I'm giving money spending value instead of the leverage that it can afford me, because we create recurring income. It's not once-off income, it's recurring income. So I'm going to demonstrate it to you, right? We've got a little example here that'll demonstrate the power of this little 2,500 Rand that we can spend so quickly. I can go spend it tomorrow. I can go on to Take a Lot on my app right now. I'll spend it in 5 seconds. That's how quickly I can spend 2,500 Rand. But what happens if I told you I could turn that 2,500 Rand, and instead of, if I stopped spending it, I could turn it into nearly R1 million after just a little more than 10 years. That sounds good, right? How do you do it? Pay your debt off. Here's someone with R1 million bond. We all aspire to owning property, right? We're always told, own the property, buy property. It's one of the rules in life that we're told. So here's R1 million property. On a 20-year term at prime plus 2, your installment is going to be about 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years before you become a homeowner. Until then, the bank owns that property. Until the last installment, right? You're paying about 2.5 times the amount on that property, on that asset. So you end up paying the bank about 2.5 million rand instead of 1 million rand because you financed it, right? The interest you've got to pay. But 6 months into DuePoint, you're earning this extra 2,500 rand. You listen to Rob and you don't spend it. You say, let me pay my debt off faster. Rob says there's value in paying my debt off faster. If you put 2,500 rand into that bond as an additional installment, it'll allow you to pay your 20-year bond off in 11.5 years. In effect, that saves you nearly 900,000 rand in interest if we don't spend it. The power of getting rid of your debt as quickly as possible. It is the first stepping stone towards wealth. The lesson is we have to think differently about money if we want to change our financial position. We can't carry on with the same behavior and the same idea about money. Being a consumer, looking at money with spending value, you won't get to that point where you become wealthy. Your lifestyle will just elevate along with the debt. After 12 months, you'll be close to 10,000 rand a month. After 24 months, remember you're doing 2 brand new people on your first point every single month, you'll be close to 28,000 rand a month. 3 years time, 36 months, close to 50,000 rand a month. After 4 years, you're about 70,000 rand. And then after 5 years, you're close to about 85,000 rand a month in recurring income. That's 1 million rand in annuity income every single year. Now, I know that because this is a formula, people go, oh, that starts to sound unrealistic. Can anyone imagine earning 1 million rand from DuePoint every single year on top of your day job salary? You're thinking about it, but it's still far away, right? That's far away. And this is just a formula. And it takes in consideration a lot of people that don't pay, a lot of people that don't grow. We take into consideration all of that. Very complicated formula. And so it's very important for me to show you people that have been doing this business over the last 4 years, because the testimony of these people is the real experience. This is the reviews. If you go on to Takealot and you click on a product, there are real reviews. And when you see 1 star out of 5 from everyone, you say, no. All right? And so it's very important for us to bring these people up on stage. And we've got all kinds of people, right? We've got Glenn Madela, who's been involved in the business for just over 2 years. So you'd think he must be a millionaire by now. His channel's earning him 2,000 rand a month. But the great thing about Glenn is that he's taken advantage of an incentive that we've launched in the last few months. And now he's taking lots of money from us because he's been able to conquer this monthly incentive all of a sudden and boost his income by 15,000 rand over the last 3 months. So he's put on an extra 5,000 rand on top of the 2,000 rand every single month, even though his channel has only got about 100 people in it. Right? And that's the personal work he's done. He's got 37 people on his first point, over 2 points. Then we've got someone who's been doing really well in the last 6 months, so very new to DuePoint. Sibusisi is from Newcastle. He's just moved up to Gauteng. And his channel's earning already 4,500 rand a month, right? And the personal work he's done is put in 25 people. The 25 people have helped him find nearly 100 people. And the 100 people in his channel's helping him earn 4,500 rand a month. And so we've got thousands of people joining our business every single month. We've got hundreds of testimonies. You're free to go look at all those testimonies on our YouTube channel. But you're at liberty to decide what you want out of this business. Right? I had someone say to me today, these types of businesses, I don't know what that means, these types of businesses don't work. They don't work. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They don't work. I've got people that have engaged in this business whose lives have changed dramatically because of this business. When someone says these types of businesses don't work, what they mean is, I can't make this business work for me. The problem is looking back at you in the mirror. And so you're free to look at all these people, but I want you to decide this evening, with some imagination, I'm hoping your imagination's been running a little wild this evening, is decide what you want out of DuePoint. Because the system is identical for everybody, and you are free to take what you want out of this business. Think about that, right? On top of the returns program, we've got a rewards program. So this is even more benefit on top of what we pay our wealth engineers every single month. When your channel size gets to these milestones, we call them ranks. And when you rank up, there are rewards waiting for you at every rank. And so one of the first notable ones is rank 5. The rest are cash checks. But at rank 5, we give you a business toolkit. I know, coming from the background in branding and advertising, that first impressions count for a lot in business. They do. If you work for a company where you are client-facing, I promise you, they probably given you business cards. You've maybe got a corporate top on. There's a dress code that you've got to adhere to. Why? Because first impressions count for a lot, right? And it's no different here at DuePoint. And so we empower you by giving you a business toolkit that makes you look a little more professional. By the way, you can buy any of this stuff from day one. You don't have to wait until you get to rank 9. Then at rank 7, we take that a big step further. We get business cards, very special, fancy, luxury, premium business cards manufactured for you. They cost us 17,000 Rand a set. Why? Because when you go speak to someone about a business opportunity, right, and perhaps they've had 5, 10 other people come talk to them about a business opportunity. If you put down a 17,000 Rand business card on the table and say, this is the business I want to talk to you about, you are head and shoulders above those other business opportunities, right? Just because of the impression that you've created. And we take that a step further at rank 9. At rank 9, we take you and your family to our rank 9 international conference. DuePoint only flies business class. I'll tell you that right now. We only fly business class, all right? So that's our starting point. We fly you and your family to a 5-star luxury resort. It's 7 days. It's all expenses paid trip. And it's really an opportunity to spend a week with your family enjoying the benefits of what you've earned for yourself, because you've done it for yourself. This is something you've earned. This is not a giveaway. You've earned this, but what it does is it opens your eyes up to where DuePoint's going to take you permanently. Because a trip like this will cost you over a week about 200,000 Rand. The rooms are about 20,000 Rand a night. I want you to imagine when you get there permanently, when you go, this is what DuePoint has afforded me. I can go on holiday at 20,000 Rand a night anytime I want to, right? This is just the first glimpse of what true wealth looks like. So we've documented our last 2 rank 9 conferences. So have a look. And I want you guys to imagine yourselves there. I always say you can take your shoes off if you want, so you can feel the sand between your toes. How does that look? Did your feet warm up? We're actually doing training on Saturday called The Road to Rank 9. So on Saturday morning, try come to the training where we're going to discuss that plan, the work required, the fundamentals of the business, getting you to rank 9. At this stage, you've got about 1,000 products in your qualified channel. You're earning 20,000 Rand a month out of DuePoint. That's R250,000 a year out of DuePoint. 2 ranks later, we spend R250,000 and buy you a brand new car. Most importantly, a car with no finance, no debit order at the end of the month. Right? Because that's where wealth lies. Not having debt. When all the money that arrives in your account stays in your account. So that's a glimpse into our rewards program. The rewards program so far goes up to rank 28. So I've showed you the little week away, the little car. There's much more waiting for you, right? People have got to rank 11 in under 2 years. People have got to rank 9 in 6 months, 5 months. But you've got to decide, right? It comes down to activity. That's all. What are you going to do in the business? How much commitment do you have? Our business is very much built on the products, though, that we've innovated. So you might be thinking, insurance products, a grudge purchase. Let me tell you, any wealthy person in South Africa has got a portfolio of insurance products and investment products. Why? Because if you spend a lifetime building up wealth, you certainly want to protect the wealth. Maybe not for your own sake, but at least for the sake of your family. And so look at our products through that lens. They've been designed with wealth in mind, and they've been designed to be accessible to everybody, right? Without marginalizing people with regards to their health or their age. And so Access Wealth is an investment and an insurance product rolled into one. It's going to cost you only 324 Rand. 100 Rand of that gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. You've got full access to that fund, and then the insurance portion is 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. The product is accessible to anyone over the age of 18 without discrimination, like I said. So you can be 80 years old, you can be diabetic, your premium's still the same. It's the same for everybody. Wealth Guard is purely insurance. It is going to cost you only 249 Rand a month. It gives you 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. And again, available to anyone over the age of 18. It doesn't matter what your health status is. It doesn't matter what your age is. The price is the same, and the benefit is the same for everybody. Right? We're not going to ask you what your blood sugar level is if you put in a claim. And then Family Wealth. Family Wealth is a funeral cover product, probably the best funeral cover product available in South Africa today, because I go look at the competition all the time. For 299 Rand, you get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. It also gives you 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So upon your death, we don't only cover the funeral cover costs, but we will pay any debt that you have up to the value of 10,000 Rand. And then you can increase this cover to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members. And again, there you can see no pre-existing conditions are excluded. This product you do, however, have to get in under the age of 70. But once you're in, it doesn't matter what age you live to, you'll still be covered. It is what we call a whole of life insurance product. And then finally, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to lower your monthly expenditure. So we spend money on many things through the month, right? Our monthly expenses. We have partnered with a number of businesses, negotiated discounts and services with them that we extend to our Wealth Points members. And so we aim to lower your monthly expenditure, right? You can look at the list of companies there. I bet you spend money with at least 2 of them. Right? And maybe once you engage with DuePoint, you'll start spending money with more of them. That's the intention. But there's a lot of value to be gained if you engage in these partners. We're always adding partners to this product. And so there's lots of benefit to be had in the Wealth Points program. So those are 4 products, accessible to everybody, the same price for everybody. Right? Straightforward and simple. One of the Wealth Points partners that we've been highlighting for the last couple of weeks, just to bring your attention to some of the older Wealth Points partners, this was one of the original ones, FHM Personal Fitness. I've just started engaging with them, having some small kids around the house. I've used them as an excuse why I don't go to gym anymore and don't exercise. And I started getting cranky because when you get up, when you're in your 40s, you get up and your back hurts a little bit more. You've got to get momentum before you can get off the bed, all kinds of things. I thought I needed to go resolve this. And so I've engaged with these guys. They've been wonderful. They've got an online app. So I've got an app on my phone. They give me all the gym workouts, the program. They ask me what I'm trying to achieve. So they tailor make your exercise program for you as well as a nutrition plan. and you get to engage with them every single day if you want to. So when I do my gym program, I go through every exercise, I tick everything off, I tell them how many reps I've done, what weights I did, and then I'll say, I struggled with sit-ups. And then I see a message that evening, so you struggled with sit-ups, don't worry, it'll get easier, we'll see how you go next time. And so it's been wonderful to engage with these guys, but most importantly is that they keep you accountable. That's something I need. I need someone going, you got to go to gym tomorrow. Expectations, right? I don't want to let people down. And so it's been a wonderful partner to engage in. And the benefit that we get as Wealth Points members is that we get 50% off their rate. That's half their rate, right? You don't get that often. Maybe you go overseas, they've got 50% discounts. But yeah, we don't get 50% discounts, but through Wealth Points, you do. All right, the Achiever Quest, this is a wonderful incentive to make short-term money. So I know we all need money now. We can't wait for our channels to build. And this is the quest that Glenn Medella, the man we saw at the beginning, who earned 15,000 Rand extra in the last 3 months. This is how he's done it. So if you're able to connect 10, 20, or 30 people in the same month who all pay successfully in the same month, there are different tiers of income that you can boost your return by. So if you connect 10 people, we'll give you an extra 5,000 on top of your return, on top of your reward. Right? If you do 20, we'll give you 10,000 extra. If you do 30, we'll give you 15,000 extra. And you can do this every single month. Every single month. So your first month at DuePoint, as a brand new wealth engineer, you don't have to wait for your channel to build. You can go out, connect 30 people. You'll earn at least 16,500 Rand in your first month at DuePoint. Right? So that's through the Achiever Quest. We've got a long-term incentive called 365 Challenge. If you're able to connect 365 people in your first 12 months at DuePoint, that will statistically get you to about rank 13, rank 14 in our system. That means by this time next year, you'll be earning close to 50,000 Rand a month. You will be rank 13 or 14. So you'll have the business pack, the business cards, the rank 9 conference. You'll have the car parked in your garage. You might have the Mediterranean conference, which is a Mediterranean cruise, every single year for the rest of your life. And if you do it in the time frame, we will give you an extra 365,000 Rand on top of all the returns you earned, and this excludes Achiever Quest money as well. And so if you do Achiever Quest at an average of 30 a month, that means that's another 180,000 on top of the 365,000. So in total, we're talking about 1.4 million Rand in benefit if you're able to do this. 1.4 million Rand in benefit in 12 months. Tell me who is offering that anywhere. Anywhere. So be aware of this. Plan for it. Think about it. Go have a family meeting tonight. A little bit of background on DuePoint, because when you step out of here, I certainly don't want you stepping out of here skeptical. Most definitely not if you become a wealth engineer. If you become a wealth engineer, I want you to be proud of the partnership that you've entered into. And you can be proud. Right? We're a very credible business that is well established with a 70-year track record. We listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange, which means we are audited publicly. We are regulated by the FSCA constantly, right? Anyone can go lay a complaint against our business, and then we get a call from the FSCA. And we've got to answer lots of questions. They come visit us in the offices. Not pleasant. But it should remove all skepticism. And so go to the DuePoint website. Go investigate this business that you're partnering with. Go look at Constantia's website. Go to the Conduit Capital, which is the company that we listed under. Go look at all these entities so that when you go speak to people and you connect them to an opportunity, they can see that you have confidence in your eye, that you trust what you're talking about. Right? And so for me, that's very important. The FSP number, that's our Financial Services Provider license number, is that one there. Our licenses are on display on our website. They're on display outside above the water cooler. You can take a photo of them. You can show everybody. And so what is the decision we need to arrive at? And if you're thinking the decision that I'm going to ask you to make is, are you going to join DuePoint? No, it's not. I'm beyond that. I'm past that question already. The question that I want to ask the people that have decided they want to take advantage of DuePoint is, have you made an intentional decision about what you're doing tomorrow? Because you can have as much desire in your heart as possible, but unless it turns into intentional action, it means absolutely nothing. Right? And so what are you doing tomorrow? Decide that tonight. How are you going to tell, and you might be clumsy at it at first, but how are you going to tell 5 people or 10 people tomorrow about DuePoint? Not to convince them, just to tell them that it exists and that you're willing to show them. That's the decision I hope you've arrived to. Joining our business, getting started is very simple. You register as a wealth engineer, right? The person that's hosting you will show you how to do that. It's a 5-minute process where you get to register as a wealth engineer, choose your product, download the DuePoint app. Once that's done, download the DuePoint app onto your smartphone, right? Log in and go play in that app. Go watch the training videos that are available. Start educating yourself in this partnership that you've entered into. And then to start earning, you only need to connect 3 people successfully to the business. 3 people, that's where you start. And when you see money getting deposited into your account that says DuePoint has paid you, I promise you your belief will go through the roof. Because when money actually gets deposited into your account, you're not a believer until that happens, right? And it happens when you connect 3 people. So make sure that's your first goal. Connect 3 people successfully. Merchandise, we've got a plethora of merchandise available for you, again, to create a good first impression so that people can say, wow, this person really is invested and believes in the business they're telling me about. We're running a 20% discount on business cards if you order online. We've got a brand new store online that you can access via our website. We've got the Bombela Encounter coming up. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to help you build your channels in Mpumalanga. Who wants to be earning money out of Mpumalanga every single month, recurring income? Why aren't you all not raising your hands? You should all be putting your hands up and say, yes, I want a national business. Because we've invested in technology that makes that available at no cost to you. You don't want a business in your town. You want a national business. Why? Because you can. You can. You've got reach over the app, over WhatsApp nowadays. There's all this technology that allows you to connect people anywhere in the world, right? And so, Bombela Encounter, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to help people join your channel, get invested into this business. But your job is to invite them to the encounter. I don't invite anyone. I invite you guys, but you guys have got to invite other people. And so make a long list of people from Mpumalanga and invite them to the encounter. It's free of charge, right? It's absolutely free. You can only benefit if you take advantage of that. Social media platforms that we're on, these are all things that you get to show off, right? When you go speak to people about a business opportunity, they've seen lots of business opportunities before. But are they on Apple Podcasts? Are they on Spotify? Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Do they have an app on the phones? Do they have a storefront? Do they have all these things? Because all these things set us apart from the competition, right? So yourself, you must get engaged in these places and then show them off when you go prospect, because it'll help you prospect and build successful channels. And with that, I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, speak to the person that's hosting you. And my sincere wish for everybody is that you get to build prosperity for yourself this year. We've still got lots of 2019 left. Don't write 2019 off. Who's written 2019 off? Everyone's written 2019 off. You're all wishing, oh, 2020 is going to be my year. 2020 is looking good. 2020, I'm going to get a 3% raise in my salary at least. I've put in lots of hard work this year, right? Don't wait till 2020. I want you to make 2019 the best 3-4 months or what's left, so that you have a Christmas that's the best Christmas you've had in a long time. That is my wish for you. So good luck. Thank you.